Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to another episode of Coco and the Sun podcast. I am your host, Malika Critchlow. Feeling very blessed and grateful and happy to be here today. So, I haven't spoken to anybody or haven't done a video since when was it? The eclipse? And I wanted to see like what the eclipse and the equinox and the new moon and the full moon, all these things that we had back to back and what it was going to mean for me, um, to kind of understand it for myself without framing it from other people. I just wanted to see what it showed me, what came into my life. And what understandings or situations or relationships or um whatever presented itself during that time. My feelings, emotions, all of it. I wanted to see what showed up for me. So I'll see what it meant for me. So it has been a really interesting time, interesting in a good way. So after the eclipse, I I felt like energy was nice. Um, I think this was the eclipse before the equinox, right? Then there's a second eclipse after that. So the eclipse energy felt okay. It felt for me like things was starting to improve slowly and gently. And I was like, okay, this doesn't feel too bad. It actually feels good, you know? Then I did, I don't know if I told you guys, I was Tom Kenyon, the author of the Magdalene Manuscript and the Hathors. He has sound recordings um, on his website, and I saw one that was Angel Codes, and it had, I believe, seven angel codes. And so I bought it. I bought it. I wanted to see um what was going to happen if I listened to it. I listened to one code per night. So it was seven angel codes. I think it was Michael, Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Zadkiel, Archangel Ariel, Archangel Shamuel, and Archangel Metatron. And basically, I believe each code did a different thing, right? So the from the eclipse, I started it the Monday and it was going to take me, the last day was going to be the Saturday, which would take me into the equinox. So I thought it was really curious and I found the codes that week. That would be exactly 7 days and then take me into the equinox from the eclipse if I listened to it every day. So I was like, oh, this seems aligned, right? So I did it. And I believe each code, well, sound, recording did different things. Like the dreams were different every night and I had different experiences. I think so when you're doing these sound healings, it's not all, you know, fuzzy and sweet, right? Because it's clearing some stuff. So when you clear stuff, stuff comes up that you forgot about and think about, to know about, that's not very pretty emotions and feelings that you have to move through. And stuff did come up uh, to clear. There was some emotions and feelings. Um, one of the days was really rough. Like was, I didn't have, I was like, I think I was purging some stuff. And like, I was just in a really bad mood that day, like really awful. And I'm glad I gave it like 24 hours each code because it seemed to me that beyond listening to it and the sleeping, 'cause I would listen to it before I go to sleep. Then I have dreams. Like throughout the day, I'll have feelings and experiences and interactions with people or videos, Instagram, whatever, right? And each one was different. Each had a different feel, but it was like beautiful in a good way. I would say there was one, and I love that one because I feel like even though it was the roughest one, like my mood was awful. Like I had a really rough time with it. When it did start to clear, I was much lighter after. So I was really grateful for what it did, you know? And yeah, so I listened to the seven codes and I like after I listened to it, I felt like I was in a different space mentally. Um, a lot more positive thinking, a lot more thinking things could work out, a lot less defining things and limiting things to physicalities and more into feelings and experiences, right? And so I did it. Then the equinox hit, and I was like feeling really nice. And the equinox came. I think it was a Sunday or Saturday, and the day was okay. But the very next day, okay, the energy was heavy for me. Like it was really strong and intense. And when I say that, I mean like I had headaches, just didn't feel like 100%, and it didn't shift until the Thursday. And that week, I actually think I found out I won. So remember I was talking about I wish I could do like Ann Tucker's soul convergence or the angel healings that she does, the angel channeling healings that helps with um uniting your masculine and feminine aspects, but I couldn't afford it. And I was just gonna let my journey be whatever it was supposed to be, like it would be beautiful, whatever way it was would be what it was meant to be for me. Anyways, I applied. I found out that they sent an email saying that there's a scholarship program. I applied for a scholarship and I got it. I got it that week with the equinox. That really, the energies were really strong. And I think I found out the Thursday or the Friday, the day that energy lifted. And I was like, okay. So the energies were strong, I think, because we're integrating, or I was integrating whatever I was needing to integrate. Okay. And it was just, it wasn't like I couldn't go on my day. Uh, but I had to take ibuprofen or leave and it was consistent for like 4 days, like this nagging, irritating headache or feeling not 100% or whatever. And then as the energy dissipated, I felt like I moved again into a new space. And I got the scholarship. So I was like, yeah, things are looking up. So I got a scholarship and the financial situation had alleviated for a period of time, but it wasn't like a permanent solution. So I really didn't know like where things were going, and there was still some balls up in the air. So I got into the Soul Convergence program with Antak. I'm so grateful because somebody donated money for other people to take the course, the healing course, and I won one of the scholarships. I just can't believe it. I can't believe it. I'm like really grateful. So like things started working out without me having to figure it out in really beautiful ways. Where I started to come into space. So I started being grateful for what was there and looking forward for what was coming and expecting more love and favor and good interactions and growth and joy and um all the things that I wanted. I started looking forward to it, expecting it, and relaxing about it, and just knowing that it's there, that it is here, that that's what it will be. There is some form of divine timing, but the less you worry about it, the faster the divine timing comes, I believe. So you have to just relax into it and a confidence that's not forced, but known. It's like how, and it'll be different for everybody, like how you don't worry about lights, or you don't worry about, you're going to eat, or you don't worry about something you expect to be in your life. I don't know what it could be. A show you're gonna watch. It could be people you love in your life. You don't worry about them being like, you know that they're there, and you look forward and you're happy that they're there. You look forward to seeing them or experiencing it. Kind of like that. So I started being really grateful, and I started thinking, um, just allowing for that I am loved and everything works out for me in the best way for me. I know I have said it, but it was like a level of understanding because I was starting to see it happen gently. And I was like, okay, if I continue with this, it'll expand more and more and more and more. I feel like it's a blossoming process. So it's not like a whap and it's there. It's more like, and the more that I'm grateful for what I have. And I say, yes, thank you. More, please. Yes. And I imagine not the physical aspect of it. I think that could work too. But what I was imagining was people loving me and wanting to work with me and favoring me and me adding to other people's lives and them adding to my life in a harmonious relationship, and just knowing that that's what it is without second guessing it or worrying about what if I'm not good enough or what if they don't like me, but instead saying, they love me. They just love my personality. They just love what I have to say. Like we just mesh and we just get along and I enjoy them and what they have to say. And the conversation is just beautiful. And anyway, so that's what I've been doing. And I have noticed that I find that um, things are working out in a beautiful way and also in a timely way. So there's a lot of trust and faith that things are going to happen in the way that I want it, not in the way that I want it to happen, but in the best way for me, in the best time. And I don't need to worry too much about it. I can notice it and be like, hey, it would be really great if this resolved because guess what? I need this done by this and this date because I need this done before this occurs because I'm living in a physical reality. And there are things that need to be done. So, so that is what has been going on. Past that, I started the program, and I can see that I am going to experience it and let it be whatever experience it's supposed to be for me without putting a harsh expectation. I would say the only expectation I have for the program is that whatever I'm supposed to learn from it or evolve from it, I will, but not limiting or defining what that is. And if it's nothing, then it's nothing, but it's not nothing because it's been like 3 weeks and already I know like stuff is being addressed right? And so what the program is basically like you get like a channeled message to listen to for 4 days, and they tell you listen to it as many times as you can each day, but at least once a day if you can. If you can't make once a day, then just do the best that you can. I have been trying to do it at least twice a day, um, because of I now have a little job that I work during the days, so I don't have as much free time to do it more times, but I definitely try to do it twice a day for the 4 days, right? And then after that, like there's another session and you listen to that for 4 days and stuff like that. And each session deals with um different forms or different things that are healing. So you listen to the recordings and then whatever dreams you have that night, if you can remember them, you write your dreams down. And then, like every 3 weeks or so, you meet with a dream analyst to see what the dreams are trying to tell you. And then as you progress, what I understand is you'll see the progression or the healing that's occurring. And I had my first session with the dream analyst. It was really, really good and clarified some things that I'm dealing with. But anyway, the listening to the recordings, you can the dreams that you have, you can tell like stuff is coming to the surface that um you probably would have addressed, but later on not so orchestrated or quickly, or I won't say quickly. Um, yeah, it feels like somewhat of a gentle acceleration of aspects of yourself that you need to love, um, and heal. And so the first recording, I listened to it, but I was really resistant because, sometimes they ask you to envision you're on a river or you're on a beach or whatever. And I realize now that I do struggle with other people's imaginations or visions of what to imagine. I really like my own imaginations. Um, so the first one was really resistant. Like the first listen was really resistant. Like I'm listening to a tab, but in my mind, I'm like, why I gotta be down the river floating? I'm like, why am I being like this? Like, why? Like I'm actually like asking myself, why am I this nitpicky? And at the same time, I'm being nitpicky. So it was red. Anyway, I think that the angels or the guys that help you realize I was being really resistant to it. So the next time I listen to it, I literally slept through the whole thing. Like you sleep, I slept through the entire thing. And she said that happens sometimes, that you'll sleep through it and you think nothing's done, but that's actually like that's the best way for you to receive whatever healing is supposed to be receiving because you're resistant. So yeah, the next time I listened to it, slept through the entire thing. And then the next time I listened to it, like the third time, I wasn't resistant to what it was saying anymore. I was very mellow and la la. So in la la land. Okay. I was like, oh, this isn't so bad. I don't know why I was having such a tough time with it the first time. So so you could see like the dreams that were coming in. I could see, I don't know exactly what they were saying or what the meanings behind the dreams were, but I know like I was writing down the dreams and I know the dreams were they were addressing some things. Um, then I got to the fourth session. The fourth recording. I was like reactive. I hadn't been reactive in such a long time. Well, about 2 or 3 years, I had kind of reached like a mellow neutral state. If I got irritated, I could maintain. And at the fourth session, it was like, hey, I was pissed off. If I was pissed off, he was gonna hear about it. Like I wasn't like being mellow and also understanding and trying to assess and analyze. No, I was just like, if I was pissed, I was pissed. So a lot of like fears came to the surface, fears of being left out, fears of being forgotten, um, fears of safety and stuff came to the surface session 4. I realized after, like, well, besides those fears that I needed to clear and know that everything was going to be okay, and I wasn't forgotten, and that um, I was safe. It was not, I was unsafe, and that it did matter. Let me pause for a second. Okay, so I forget what where I was. Where was I? Oh my God. Um, so trying to remember. I cannot remember where I was. Took the break. Let me think for a second. Yeah, so like I was super reactive. Fears were coming up about um being forgotten, left behind, safety. And so those had to be addressed. Of course, that's why it came up. But also, I don't like when I'm reactive. So I can be reactive. It can be something that's second nature to me. It was not something that I was originally. That wasn't part of my personality when I was younger, right? I was a lot more sensitive and quiet. And because I was like that, a lot of people, the experience I was having, I don't want to say other people, right? The experience I was having was based on what I understood and experienced in my childhood, and that led an expectation, and then that's what I started creating unknowingly, right? So the experience I was having was that because I was so mild-mannered, um, I was being dismissed by, I would say, more gregarious personalities, and I had to develop um the ability to be as rambunctious when pushed. So it's still not my natural state of being, but if I feel like a boundary is being surpassed or stepped on, I can slip into that mode without even knowing that I slipped into it very, very quickly. And after being there, I I mean, I think at the time it was necessary to set boundaries so people didn't continue with the behaviors towards me in that way. But I never like, I always feel bad after. Like, um, I wouldn't say I regretted it because I always feel felt like if I didn't do it, then certain cycles would continue. But I didn't enjoy when I got to that level. So I believe that this reactivity came back during this session for me to love and accept, because it's an aspect of myself that is still worthy of love. And that's the only way to transmute it really is to accept it and be like, okay, this is who I am sometimes based on certain conditions. And love that aspect of myself. And I think once I accept that and I acknowledge it, love it, then it's not needed per se anymore, right? And I know that, or it will happen less because my frequency will be at a different frequency, so I'll be attracting different um situations. And I also um would deal with situations from a different aspect as well. So what happens when I love that aspect of myself? This is, I generally was really ashamed that I'm still able to slip into that mode so quickly. And I felt like, oh my God, have I progressed or not progressed? Until I caught it and I was like, yeah, no, you need to love this. This is coming up to show you that this is still a part of your being. It is part of who you are. It served its purpose in your evolution. Because if I hadn't gone to that level, then guess what? Reactive people who I don't particularly care to be around, I wouldn't have the understanding or the grace for them if I hadn't been that myself. So the whole thing was quite beautiful if you think about it, because me loving myself in this situation as this aspect of myself now allows me to hold grace for others in that aspect of themselves and not judge it, because I can't. If I don't judge myself, I love myself in this situation, then I can do this for other people. So, will I be reactive again? I don't know. What I do know is if I am reactive again, I'm not going to be ashamed of it. I'm going to love myself there and try to see why I was triggered. Um, and I know the the medicine for reactivity is to take a second before you respond. Just pull back for 1 second and think about it. But the feelings and the emotions are so intense that you just can't just run with it. Or it's so intense that a second or a minute doesn't really help. You still have the same feelings, and for it to clear, you have to let it out. So I know I definitely have more grace for my own reactivity and by extension others. And I think this loving myself here helps to transmute it. I don't know if it'll be immediately transmuted. I'll allow it to do whatever it needs to do to be. So, so yeah, so that came out and that was really hard. Like it was those 4 days with session four, because I went through the whole cycle of why is this here? The reactivity, a shame of the reactivity. Oh, I'm supposed to love it. Oh, that means I have to love others that are reactive. Oh, I need to check these fears out and clear these fears. And so the roughest parts to me always, once you get past it, are like huge, huge um steps to progression or a huge step to evolve. It takes you to a really beautiful space after, but while you're in it, it doesn't feel that great. I am glad that I was able to understand after a while, after a day or two, why it came up. It came up twice. I was reactive twice. It wasn't just reactive when there was one incident. Like it was a double whammy. It was like, yeah, this is who you are. You do this. You have the capacity to do this. You have the potential to be this still, right? And so what you're gonna do? Be ashamed of that? No, I have to accept it. That's part of my potential. But I have the potential under the right circumstances to be there again. And I'm still really in love. So I feel like this whole process for the whole year, which by the way, I went into 2024, y'all. This entire year has shown me, I feel like it has been a year to teach me and show me that no matter whatever aspect or space I'm in that I equate to not being valuable, it basically took me there and showed me that I was valuable, showed me that I was still worthy of love, it showed me that I was still cared for and taken cared for. It built my faith and took me to my fears to face head on and see how to process them, how to look at them, how to feel them, how to move through them. So it took me, I thought, and I think it's a different, different, it's like a truer abundance. So I thought this year was be my year of abundance. Okay. I also thought this year was a year in which I was entering a new phase of being. The way that I thought this was going to occur was, in a way of material wealth and um, changes in career to things that are more aligned with what brings me bliss. But so, and I think I am going to get there. But there was first a complete clearing of what I saw as valuable within myself to let me know I was valuable with nothing because I still had freedom of time. There's still abundance of freedom of being, freedom to explore, um, not having to answer to anyone, that type of thing. Um, Freedom to daydream, imagine, to try new things and figure out if it's for you or if it's not for you. And so this year was abundant in that way. It was abundant in teaching me to trust myself, trust my faith, build my trust in the divine, in myself, in understanding what's being communicated. All these things are like core and foundational things that will help me get to the material abundance. But these things had to be addressed because then the material abundance would have been built on a weak foundation, right? So where I am standing right now, based on the year I had, which I don't think was awful. I don't. There was some parts of it that was scary and I didn't know what was next, but I know that to just trust and everything will come in the right time. And so it did every single time. And what that does, at least for me, makes me feel really steady. So no matter like what happens now, um, I think that even if I don't know, like if I lose a job or I lose finances, I feel like I would be okay. This isn't probably ideal, but it's probably leading to something better. And I trust that solutions will come in the right time, in the right way, in the best way for me. So I'm not as easily rocked. I didn't think I was easily rocked prior, but it did do some rocking. So I think I'm even more stable in that sense and not as materially focused. Um, and a lot more open to things not occurring exactly how I expected to occur on a physical level, but it occurring in an even better way. So not defining things in a physical way. So, instead of saying I want that house or that car, you know, that career or I want success in this way. It's more like I want a bliss-filled success and career. I want love-filled relationships. I want a home that provides peace and harmony and love and acceptance for all that enter. So it's not defined by a physical aspect, but a home that brings me much joy, a home where I can gather many people, a home where I can gather many people that I love, a home where I can feed many people that I love, you know, those type of things. So, um, yeah, so that's why I think the year was abundant, but not in the way that I thought. It was abundant in teaching me how to trust myself in the divine and allow myself to be loved and know that I am loved and let that love show itself to me. And not rushing it to show it, not putting it on a time schedule, just knowing it's there and knowing that it will show me in the right time. And that is a relationship with the divine as well, not putting any parameters on it, any limitations on it, not putting it in a box or a square. If you love me, like you'll show me this. No, I know you love me. I feel it every day. I feel the love. Everybody just, they love me. And I know it'll show itself. I know this truth will reveal itself in the most amazing ways for me. So, um, I'm not giving the divine an ultimatum, but telling the divine, I know it. I see it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, so that's what's been going on with um the soul convergence course. I am learning that my masculine aspect is trying to balance. So it seems like I'm either very docile and mild, which is my original state of being as a kid, or I'm super, super reactive and aggressive if triggered. And it's trying to balance to a place where I'm able to express what I need to express and not limit it or suppress it or hide it, but also not harm anyone unnecessarily in expressing it and being able to express it in love, which has been something I've been trying to do for a while. You'll know I've been trying to express true love and be as true and authentic and honest as myself. And so the masculine aspect is trying to do that. And from my dreams, there is some progress being shown that it's occurring. Um, but of course, it's not fully healed yet. It's just been like 3 weeks. So I asked the dream analyst, like, what can I do to heal it? Like, I'm seeing what needs to be healed. How do I heal it? And she said, the soul convergence, listening to the recordings heals it, helps to heal it. So I won't know exactly how until I get to the end of it. But I definitely feel better. I definitely feel more myself, more accepting of myself. Um, and I didn't think, they say like once you learn something, they go on to the next thing, right? But I did feel I was pretty accepting of myself, but no, I could even be more. So I suspect I can be even more further up. But I do feel a lot more loving to myself, a lot more accepting to different aspects of myself that I wasn't proud of, that I didn't even know I wasn't proud of, until they came to the surface. So I expect there'll be more things to come up. So I do feel like it's working. I feel like I'm feeling a a lot more trusting. I feel like the faith is even stronger, and I'm lighter. Yeah. So I think it is really, it's been only 3 weeks, and I'm really learning about myself, what I what I was ashamed of, and what I needed to love already. And the fears, some fears I didn't know was still there lurking. And that's just in 3 weeks. So I'm able to love it. Um, so I'm in session 5 now, and session 5 feels really beautiful. And it didn't have as a reactive response as 4. Um, but it definitely is bringing some form of clarity in terms of um being told, you're too sensitive, or why do you do that? That type of feelings, those type of bringing that to the surface, and then understanding that I am loved, and what I do bring is needed, you know? So this one was a little bit gentler. It wasn't as rough as 4. Today I start session 6, so I'm curious to see what that brings, you know. But yeah, so I'm learning these things about myself. And that's where I'm at with this soul convergence. Oh, so yeah, so the job I told you guys, it was temporary, like contract, but now it's permanent, uh, which is a blessing, and I'm really grateful for it. It gives some sort of a relief. And I feel like prior to that, I would have been like, why am I being put back in a similar position to earn money financially when I'm trying to align my freedom of being with my financial freedom. And I don't feel like that this time. What I feel like is this is where I need to be now in order to get to the next step. So this takes care of me now so that I am able to relax and look forward to the next step. I can have some relief in my finances and feel free in that way in order to manifest. I don't like the word manifest, create more of the reality that I want from a space of less stress and sorry, more less stress and more joy and lightheartedness, and allow what needs to come in the time that's supposed to come, because I'm okay here, you know? So I think that's what is going on at this time. Like, I don't feel like it's a step back. I think it's a step forward based on, I'm sorry, my thought process. Now, I think if my thought process had gone back to that way of thinking, why am I here again? All of this was for nothing. Blah, blah, blah. What would have happened is I would have looped, I think, that scenario again and be stuck there. But I'm not. I'm really grateful for the job. And I'm really grateful for the freedom it allows, a different type of freedom, but the freedom it allows and the peace that it brings, a different type of peace. I mean, it wasn't wicked. Um, in order to allow what the next thing to come in is. And that's just how I feel about it this time. So just loving where I am while looking forward to where I'm going. And knowing where I'm going, I'm loved and enjoyed. And I love and enjoy what that experience will be, you know? So yeah. So yeah, so that's what it was. This whole year seemed to be um a clearing of what I understood myself to be and how I judged myself and how I loved myself, taking me back to the very basics of just being and allowing for that being enough to be loved, and then building from there the trust and the faith that that love that I am loved allows for that. Um, that can show me how I'm taken care of and my needs are addressed, and trusting that it will. So that's what the year did. And then once that trust, I think, began to come in, the next step came and the next showing of this is for you, and this is for you now, and this is for you now, and this is for you now. So you trust, so you're progressing and you're taken care of this way. And now let's expand that. So the song, I still say it more, 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 more. So I'm grateful, but also more, more, more. Let's see what else is coming. How can this be even better? How can I expand this? So it's again like this, slowly opening. I don't know if I'm talking in circles. I don't know if I'm talking in circles, but that's just how it feels. So it feels like although things may look the same, it's actually not the same, and I don't feel the same. I feel like I'm in a different period and I'm on my way to it being better and better and better and better and more bliss-filled and love-filled and joy-filled and more expansion and more trusting and more faith. And that allowing for more bliss and more joy and more love. Yeah. So that's what it is. So, I mean, I think the fact that I got the scholarship for the Soul to Invasions is telling. I think the fact that I found the angel codes from Tom Kenyon also is telling. I think the fact that I got the temporary contract and then into a permanent contract. Um, so I'm curious to see what else comes, you know? I'm curious to see what else comes. Because I still know, like, okay, this is okay and I can enjoy this here, but I'd like to enjoy life even more. You know, I can enjoy this. This is cool. This is nice. Let me enjoy this time because this time won't be here again. So what is it that this time I can enjoy now that I won't have again? You know? So let me focus on that and enjoy that while looking forward to what's coming to the future. So excited, 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 and feeling very loved and safe, feeling held and feeling like even if I don't see the way, that the way will show itself to me. I will say too, like everything that came to me came to me. I didn't go looking for it. Or I was inspired to do it, you know? So that's another thing I learned. Yeah. So my whole understanding of abundance is different. It's more solid and grounded and it has a depth to it now. It's not just physical manifestation, but the physical manifestation shows up to let you know, hey, you can enjoy this too. You just trust and know it's coming. I don't know. There's also some form of understanding of an overlay and it taking a while to fit. or like fit what I want to fit my rule to fit with this new rule that I want, to travel and fit into it. So, yes, so that's it. I hope everyone continues to be in a better place of love for themselves and by extension for others, and more of their peace comes through to them and shows up in a physical way. Like I feel like this job did for me, and other things will as they come in. I hope you know that you are loved. And I hope the universe finds a way to communicate it in a way that you understand. You can call it the universe, the divine, or God, your guides, your angels, teachers, your ascended masters, whatever you want to call it. I hope the journey for you is one that you enjoy. The other day I had the thought of the whole universe is this one that I'm in. I don't know. Well, I think they have other stuff too, other universes that I don't know even dream about. But this one that I'm in right now is a paradoxical universe. And I had the thought the other day that I am learning to enjoy the sacred in the mundane, or what I thought was mundane, but isn't, but it's actually sacred, and enjoy the mundane in the sacred. So, like just going for a walk, you'll just think it's just a walk is a mundane thing that you do, but it's not. It's a sacred thing. You are interacting with the elements of which you are made when you go for a walk: water, earth, wind, fire, sun, trees, all these things. It's sacred to me. It's sacred. And then seeing the mundane and the sacred. So for me, that would be what would be mundane and I see in the sacred? Um, the act of loving myself, right? It's a sacred act, but it's also a mundane thing. It's something I have to do every day in mundane ways, right? Like listening to what I want to do and what I want to eat and who I want to talk to and what I want to look at and how I feel. If I want to sleep or watch TV, if I want to look at the sunset, like all those daily mundane things can be used as an act to perform the most sacred of acts, which is to love myself. So the entire thing is just a beautiful paradox. And I'm so happy now at this stage. I don't know where I will be in the future. I know in the past, I was like, oh God, this hard. Why can't I just tell me straight up? But right now, in this space that I'm in, I'm really grateful that I allow the mystery to reveal itself the way that it is revealing itself. Because it's like a puzzle and something to look forward to piece together, to look forward to the other pieces. What else is going to show up? What else am I going to understand about myself and the universe and these beings? What else can I learn that's new? And I think if I knew everything, it would be boring. So this is fun and I want to enjoy it. And I want to stay in this frame of mind as much as I can. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Anyways. That's all I have to say today. I don't know if I talked a lot in circles, but that's where I'm at. The eclipses and the equinoxes, the soul convergence, and Tom Kenyon's angel words have to me um, take me to a newer place of self acceptance, love, a newer perspective of seeing myself. And it feels good right now. I'm looking forward to see what else is coming, what else is going to reveal itself, you know. So that's where I am after all these um, all these astrological changes, you know. Anyways, hope everybody has a great weekend. So happy to do this podcast because, as you know, I love podcasting. I love talking. I just want to talk more with people that also want to talk to me about the same things that I can learn from too, you know. So I'm really happy I was able to do this podcast. I still haven't gotten a book yet that I want to read. And I also feel like I don't want to put out as much content as I did before because I feel there's so much content right now, people sharing what they know on what's going on. And I really feel like I don't want to add to that. Feels like a big din, like it's a lot of noise. And I don't want to add to that. My hope is that everybody is able to listen to their own guidance as to what this is for them and find their route to that guidance, the best way for them to hear that guide. The most fun, I always like fun and joy. The most fun and intriguing and joyful way for them to find that guidance. And so I'm not as open to hearing what other people's thoughts on what this is going to be or what's not going to be or and stuff like that. But instead, seeing what comes up for me in my feelings and my thoughts, in my dreams, in my body, in my energy, and learning to read that and getting better at reading that. I think that's what I'm focused on. But I do believe everybody's at different stages because prior to that, I go through these stages where I listen to every single thing I can and do all this research. And then I just want to be quiet and try to hear myself. I go through. But that's life, right? Expanding and contracting, expanding, contracting. The basic rhythm of life. So that's where I'm at now. So I don't want to add to that then. But I did want to still keep in touch and check in ever so often. So while I'm not gonna put as much content out, I think that's why I haven't gotten a book yet, because there's a lot of noise right now. I still want to be part of the conversation and let anybody that listens to me know where I'm at, what I'm learning, and maybe it helps you too. I would love to know where you're at and what you're learning so it can help me too, you know? Yeah. So that's what's going on. So I don't know when the next podcast will be. Just waiting for when I get the inspiration to do it, or when I learn something new or understand something a little better. So, but I do understand that dreams, from that dream analyst today, dreams do tell you where you're at and what you're healing and what you need to, yeah, what you need to heal to get to a new understanding of yourself. She actually told me too, like one of the dreams was saying that my trying to balance my masculine because it's imbalance is leading to digestion issues, which is true. I'm having digestion issues. So it manifests in the physical, right? All these different aspects that we're trying to heal, it manifests in the physical. Yeah, it's all connected. So yeah. Anyways, if I make any progress or learn anything new, I'll try to share it with you, but I don't want to add too much clutter because I know a lot of stuff is out there and I don't want to make anybody overwhelmed with too much noise. So When I feel inspired or learn something, I'll be back. My God. Oh, have a great weekend.